Hello everyone, welcome to Dray of Sunshine. I apologize that it has been quite a while since you have seen my face on here. Palm Tree Productions, my main channel, has kept me quite busy, but I decided that I would really like to do a reaction to this 15 Signs You Have Cptsd video. Now this is by a channel called Dr. Kim Sage, and she's actually helped me work through a lot, but I really wanted to react to this video with you guys. Things with chronic illness have been tied to things like Cptsd, so I felt like this was a reasonably related platform to react to this video with you guys. So let's just hop on over to the video and get started.
The idea that we can experience trauma at the hands of caregivers has taken this long to really talk about. It just sort of blows my mind.
I would like to add to that, it has taken me a long time to be able to come to the realization that even people who love you can hurt you and damage you, not on purpose. And it doesn't matter the person's intentions, because my mom loves me a lot and my family loves me a lot, but it's okay to accept that maybe they can't love you in a healthy way because of their own trauma and their own life experience. And that's taken me a while to come to accept that harm and trauma doesn't usually, in my case, come from bad intentions or malicious intentions.
I wanted to go back and remake and add a few things to a video I made, I think it was a couple years ago when I first started here on YouTube. And that one was titled 12 Signs You May Have Cptsd.
I have not seen that video yet, but I will watch it later.
And so please go check that out if you want to sort of continue to dive deeper in this topic. But I'm hoping that today's video really gives you signs that really support all the things that you know are true, and maybe puts them all in one collection of spaces and symptoms that you can honor for yourself and hopefully potentially direct healing if you are in need. And just a quick reminder that the complex part is really referring to the complex nature of repetitive, often relational trauma. And so you can have Cptsd not from your childhood. It can come from all kinds of situations.
Now, personally for me, I do think that my Cptsd has come from my childhood experience. To give you guys a little bit of a background, I haven't really given you much of a preface to my story here on Dray of Sunshine, but my mom and I, and my sister for a short bit, but mostly my mom and I, were homeless for a good bout of my childhood. And before that, we were in a very unhealthy family environment. And my mom and dad were in a very unhealthy relationship filled with abuse and, toxic, chronic lying and manipulation, etc. When my parents separated, that basically just means that my mom and my sister and I, we ran away. And he was left in the house that I grew up in. And then from that point forward, it was filled with unstable living situations, unstable eating situations, unstable income, basically equating to no income at all for a good portion of it. My mom dealt with lots of mental and physical trials during that time. And obviously it kind of left a lot of empty holes in my childhood and lots of questions, because there was a lot of stuff happening and not a lot of stuff being explained to me as a kid. It's a shock that I came out of it, even just the way that I am. It's a shock that I came out of it at all, in a lot of it. But I have been quiet about a lot of this stuff. I haven't really told people that know me about this experience because, there's no need of pointing fingers or blaming. I think it's important that people are open with mental health and with childhood experience, as open as they want to be, of course. I feel a lot of the stigma around mental health and childhood abuse and childhood trauma shouldn't exist because everybody has it. Everybody's parents have affected them in some way, be it negative or positive, and that builds us as an adult, that builds us as a person in the long term. So I feel like it's important that we are open about that.
Of trauma that can happen in our lives. And so that's important to acknowledge. But I really want to go into what it looks like and how it plays out in our symptoms, especially if it occurred in childhood. You've probably heard me say it before. I do not believe that kids are as resilient as we want to say they are. I think that we tell ourselves that to feel better historically.
I'm interested to know where she's going with this, because I am and always have been in the position where kids can understand more than a lot of people give them credit for. A lot of my trauma and a lot of my distrusting issues now as an adult come from people either hiding the truth from me or directly lying to me to save me from the truth. I do feel like a lot of damage control would have happened better and more effectively if they just would have told me the truth in a simplified way.
And honestly, we do it because kids may or may not show symptoms. And because of the way we've approached parenting in so many...
Okay, so I think where she's getting at this is that kids are not as resilient as we think, in the way that they can go through a lot of trauma and be fine, which I do agree with. I do think that kids will be affected by the simplest of things a lot of the time, and people don't necessarily pick up on the fact that they're being affected. I struggled with crippling anxiety for a good portion of my life and still do, but it's less crippling. That was a big portion of my childhood, was that I had all of the textbook symptoms of really intense and significant generalized anxiety disorder. Nobody really addressed it. Other things that were going on in my life, like the EDS symptoms and the generalized pain and stuff like that, was all written off by my anxiety disorder. So it was never addressed when I needed it to be, when it was actually a problem and I was actually just anxious for the sake of being anxious, because that's how anxiety works. But it was addressed whenever I needed them to actually look into a potential physiological reason why I was having the problems and the health issues that I was. It was always just kind of a write-off. Now, we're just getting into this video, but I know that I've made a lot of points. I don't want to plagiarize her work and what Dr. Kim does. So I'm going to limit the amount that I show her video. The topics and the position that I have is still the same, coming from a 26-year-old adult who has experienced trauma as a child and still currently working through it. This is a video topic that I have wanted to do for quite some time. Just finding the right time and the right platform to do it has been a bit of a struggle for me. But if this is something that you would like me to do a further reaction to, let me know in the comments, and share this video with other people you think would benefit from it, because a lot of the time we hold on to a lot of trauma and a lot of dysfunction without realizing that we do, because it all starts with acknowledging that it exists and that it's making life difficult for us and the people in our lives. Because let's be honest, trauma and dysfunction don't make us easy. It doesn't make life easy for us, and it doesn't make life easier for the people who want to love us. So with that said, I will leave this reaction here at 2 minutes into her video. Her video is really wonderful, so I do highly recommend that you check it out yourself. I will link it down in the description below and in the comments. I'll pin it down in the comments for you. But I think that is it for this video. I hope that this has maybe opened some doors for you to be able to potentially address something in your life or in the life of someone that you love, and give you an external perspective of things that you may not have acknowledged or realized existed. So with that said, I will leave you with this as always. Resting is not laziness, it is medicine. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye for now.